It's Friday. It certainly is. How are you today? I'm excited. Are you excited? There's a lot to talk about. It's one of those. They used to say that the Friday night news dump is when most news shows they don't have anything to report on. They give people bury stories on a Friday late because nobody's watching and everybody's moved on to the weekend and all that kind of stuff. And yet, it's one of the I guess it's my busiest time of the week in some ways because I've got radio tomorrow. I'm on WCPT radio live and on the radio every Saturday with my dear friend Johnny Million and our good friend Philip Ittner, who'll be joining us from Ukraine to talk about the advancements there. Huge news to talk about out there that will get huger as we over the next whatever 16 hours. And then of course, Friday night, I got a show to do. And this is apparently when everybody tries to hide everything. It's super cool. And one of the news dump parts of it, or I think it's also, there's an opposite of the news dump. So on the one hand, when you're talking about real stories, when you're talking about stories that matter, if you're a politician, you got a bit of scandal, bit of trouble, you want to, and you have a story that you want to kind of bury. You don't want to be part of the beginning of the. You don't drop it on Monday morning so that it's news all throughout the week, and you got to respond. You do it Friday afternoon, and maybe people aren't watching as much, and then by the time it gets around to Monday, you've kind of had a chance to road test your answers to people's questions. By the time you get to the Sunday show, you got a fairly good pat down or the pat answer down, and then not the, and then you get some of your people to craft something as well. And, but by the time they ask you, sir, it'll be next Wednesday and you'll have a great answer for it and all that, which is okay, fine. There's another side of that though. The Fox Newsmax side of that is if you've had a shitty week where everything you throw against the wall just slides right down, where that all of Jim Comer's promises have left you feeling sticky, broken, confused, staring out a window, waiting for a phone to call with a very odd stain on your shirt. This, I'm sorry, the mental images I'm giving myself creating these analogies is wrong. I can't imagine what I'm doing to you. I apologize. Just like and subscribe and support the show if you can. And patreon.com/HouseBarks. Okay. But when you're Newsmax or Fox, what you want to do is you want to drop your like, I think there might be something to this. Lack of detail story late in the day. And if I may, can I introduce you to the Robert L. Peters Award for Complete Idiocy? This is the big story that they think they've found. And unfortunately for them, it died on Fox News as fast as it was born. So if you'll recall, there was a period where everybody learned what's his name? I can't like the dude, the
perverts.
Sorry.
No perverts.
Yeah, the Anthony Weiner had that online moniker. His nickname was Carlos Danger. Or let's say Donald Trump using John Barron being his own PR representative and not even being smart enough to cover his own voice. But then he had bigger fish to fry. He was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein at the time. And so obviously he recognized that it didn't even take a lot of work to bullshit certain people who wanted to be bullshitted.
No
apparently.
Perverts.
I agree. That's how I felt about it. And and when you're surrounded by your protectors at all times in the world that Trump lives in, just like Epstein and these other guys, there's kind of a space around you that protects you. What's it called? A
sanctuary.
Yeah, a sanctuary. So effectively, for a long time for Trump and his ilk, there was New York was a sanctuary city. So this is the story. So Republicans are floating this thing, and this has a lot to do with like Trump is going to do this big stupid thing on Monday. Oh fuck, how do we cover? And so they dig up a story from 12 years ago that's been asked and answered or whatever. Oh, thanks so much, John. Appreciate the super chat. Bless you. And they try to make new hay out of it. We'll see Rob Schmitt try to take a swing and a miss at this. Now, you can tell by the length of the segment, it's 5 minutes, 32 seconds, that there's no there. This is shorter than even his Comer visit, but let's see how they take on it. This is the idea that this is called "How much more Biden proof do you need?" Um, I have the same answer a lot of you do, which is any any proof would be nice. Any proof of criminality or a quid pro quo. Uh, Allegations are not proof. Whining is not proof. Rob Schmitt bitching about something at 7 o'clock at night on the regular is not proof. But here we go.
Welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. How many aliens?
What soft music were they playing him? And does he open with a ballad?
Welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight.
Welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. I'm barely holding in my fudge right now. Oh, Comer was on yesterday and it dragged me down a rabbit hole of bullshit. A rabbit hole of bullshit. Bam, bam. Big swell, big swell. Dooba-doom-ba, da-ba-da-boo-ba-ba-ba-ba. Why do I keep buying all of his bullshit? Why does he leave me sticky and broke and confused? All right. Sorry. This is what 2 notes. I would be the worst person on Name That Tune because I would just make up my own. Anyways, what's Rob Schmitt upset about tonight?
How many aliases do you go by?
Okay, a couple. My Xbox account is Hal 5 Park 5. It's Hal Sparks with 5s. I also use oftentimes online Haldor the Wolf because my kid and I were playing an adventure game, and we were joking around what our Viking names would be. So my Viking name is Haldor the Wolf. I like that. And I mean, my dad's nickname was Sparky. Some people tried to call me that for a long time, and I won't let it be used because it's my dad's. My dad is Sparky. There's enough confusion in the house with us all being H Sparkses to start fucking with. And then secondarily, call me when most of your trolls use their real fucking name on Twitter. Also, I have a bunch of dummy emails for signing up for things. I don't know if I literally at one point had one that was Junky Hal. And I was literally like, anything that's going to send me junk mail, I'm going to send it to that like old Hotmail or was it a fucking Earthlink account? Earthlink.net? Yeah, something. Anyways, like I had a brilliant idea because it would allow you to have 5 email addresses that could all go to one. And I was like, that's perfect. So I'll create one that's just for, junk mail. And I'm not going to say what the fuck my signups are on Getter and Parler and on my Telegram channel because I don't use them for my own purposes. I'm a spy, so I want to see what's going on there, but I don't want to involve myself in what's going on there. Does that make sense these days? All right. Anyways, let's continue. So I would say dozens.
Do you know anybody who uses a fake name, a fake identity?
You mean like John Barron? You're kidding, right? By the way, every celebrity I know checks into a hotel under a fake name. I rotate mine all the time. I mean, the ones I always want to use always it would be a dead giveaway because if anybody walked up and go, "Do you have a Buckaroo Bonsai staying here?" They go, "Oh yes, okay, 216, noisy room. He's up there." So I'm not telling you guys what mine are. I had one guy in my Masonic lodge who knew one of my alt names that I use when I'm checking into a hotel, and he would call me by it anytime I entered a room. And I'm like, dude, quit it. He would introduce me to people under that name. And I'm like, he knew it was messing with me. Anyways, it was hilarious.
What would you think if you found out that your best friend had multiple email addresses?
A lot of my best friends do have multiple email addresses. Okay, chat room. First of all, hi, how are you? How many of you actually have multiple email addresses? Anybody? Anybody got a multiple email address? How many have maybe over the years have had like a Facebook account under a funky name, and then you started a Facebook account under your real name, and you kept the funky name for a while, and then you're like, fuck it, and it just sits there, and you don't do anything with it? Yeah, like, exactly. You know what's weird? You know what's truly weird? Yeah, look at 28. Listen to you guys. You guys are fucking pros. For at least 5 Facebook accounts. You guys are maniacs. 4 here plus work. Yeah, and you have, like, you can have email addresses at work that are more for, like, internal Slack, and then the one that you have for clients. Okay, so on top of that, you know what's fucking weirder than having multiple email accounts or different names on email accounts for people CCing you and shit like that? And we'll deal with the reality of this in in a minute. You know what's weirder? Not having one at all. Donald Trump doesn't use email because he doesn't want to write anything down because he doesn't want to be caught criming. Not having any kind of digital trail, refusing to use it, is way more fucked up than having a few of them. Never mind the fact that all the ones they're going to be talking about are, insofar as I know, and I haven't pre-watched this video, but insofar as I know, these are ones that they used internally in the White House on purpose for either internal business or whatever. It's all available to FOIA. You can read all the emails under these names that aren't classified or whatever. The same way that you could read the ones that actually have his regular name on them. These weren't secret emails like David Petraeus and Colin Powell were using. These are internal to the actual, well, we'll see in a second if that's what he's talking about, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Tied to fraudulent names.
What the fuck is a fraudulent name? Rob, is that your whole name? Is that your real name?
You'd probably think at the very least they were messing around on their spouse or possibly into some really, really shady stuff.
Or they hate spam. I'm going to go with they hate spam in and of itself. Or they get a shit ton of email and they've had to like burn email, and you can't have any emails that are even close to their real name because it wouldn't take long. It's like having a password that's password. How many J.R. Biden, Joe R. Biden, Joseph R. Biden, J. Robinette Biden, J. Rob Biden, how many variations of that do you think he could run through before that get burned up because some dickhead goes, try Joe R. Biden, try Joe Robinette Biden, try Joe Rob Biden, try J. Rob, try, like, honest to fucking God. Of course, and they will get more ridiculous. Yeah, Dark Brandon at whitehouse.gov. That's what I think.
Today, Congressman James Comer sent a letter to the National Archives requesting unrestricted access to emails related to the Bidens and Ukraine, including one from May of 2016 when Biden was vice president of the United States. The email detailed a call between Joe Biden and the president of Ukraine. The details of that call were emailed to Robert L. Peters, which the Oversight Committee has identified as one of the many pseudonyms Joe Biden was using while he was vice president of the United States.
Yes, and you'll notice at the tail end of that, PCI.gov. That and you know what? Here's the fucked up part. All the emails that go through that name, you know where he's going to find them if he wants to look at them? In the fucking archives, because they have been archived, because they were legit emails that they used.
There was only one person copied on that email to Robert L. Peters. You know who that person was?
Well, CC'd, it wasn't to him, but sure.
Hunter Biden.
His son, yes, I recognize they are related. Now, please do all the emails between Jared Kushner that are CC'd to Donald Trump on his private email during his time in the White House and vice versa. And then take a giant step back and go fuck yourself.
Who at the time was getting paid $1 million a year to work for a filthy, dirty energy company.
Well, and by the way, he doesn't mean because it's oil and gas. So don't think for a second that Rob Schmitt finally gives a damn about the environment. No, he means it's filthy, dirty, scummy. Now, he may have a point there. Interestingly enough, there was a point where Hunter Biden was working for Burisma. Sorry, is it? I always get the pronunciation all fucked up. What was it again? The
Burmese executives.
Right. Burmese.
So this Burmese, they say,
Burmese.
pronounce it Burmese.
They do? That's how they say it? Okay.
Burmese.
I see. Burmesia. Okay, anyways, he was working for Burmesia at the time. And there was a point when Hunter was working for there where they were a dirty dirt scum filth company. And then they became legit during the time that he was working for them. How the fuck did that happen? I thought he was there to keep the corruption. Oh, well.
Located in Ukraine. At that point, in the spring of 2016, Ukraine's president, Petro Poroshenko, had just fired prosecutor Viktor Shokin,
the godfather of his children,
after Joe Biden threatened to withhold $1 billion of our money.
No. $1 billion worth of loan guarantees, meaning we're only on the hook if they don't repay the loans, which they did. He didn't have suitcases of cash, asshat. Also, the IMF was making the same demand, but they were withholding $70 billion.
The move, of course, famous now, when Biden bragged about it 2 years after it happened.
Oh, he's not going to play the tape, is he?
He is. I've gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I'm leaving at 6.
And they didn't. Why didn't they? Because Shokin was, by the way, sliding some money, more than likely, to Poroshenko on the side, and he was his kid's godfather.
Hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a...
Really? You're bleeping him out? You let Trump say shit and bullshit and bullshit and shit all the time, but you're going to bleep out son of a bitch? I mean, I appreciate it. It is an anti-Christian slur, as it were.
Got fired.
And he was replaced by a guy who was solid at the time. They always leave that part off. Why do you do that, Rob Schmitt? Because you're a piece of Schmitt. I understand.
A moment that will forever haunt Joe Biden.
No, it won't. It was on a fucking stage, dum-dum. It doesn't haunt him at all. You guys are trying to make a fucking ghost out of a sock. You're like, boo! It's never going to haunt him. It does not haunt him. Again, the reason that whole thing falls apart, and I hate reiterating this over and over again, but if they're going to keep bringing it up, I'm going to bring it up myself, is that in the full video, and please, if you buy into this bullshit at all, if we have some maggots and trolls in the crowd, welcome, glad you're here, you help us in the algorithm in a way that other people just can't, possibly, because you expand us into other areas and other accounts, and the algorithm rewards us for scraping the shit out of the sides, I think would be the phrase. But if you like, if you actually care about any of this, or you buy what Rob Schmitt is shoveling right now, please do yourself a favor and go watch the entire video. You can find it online, of Joe Biden at that CFR meeting. And you don't even have to watch the whole hour and a half, 2 hours he was there taking questions and all that kind of shit. You can. I recommend it, because you'll see what competency looks like. But in the middle of it, when they ask him that question, when he's talking about Shokin, there are two moments that, ultimately flatten the entire thing. One is that it's loan guarantees and this whole $1 billion thing that I just addressed. The other thing is that at that point, Poroshenko goes, "What? You can't do that. I'll call the president." And Biden says, everybody together, "Call him." Joe was there to do a job. He absolutely was sanctioned to withhold those funds if they didn't do it. Shokin wasn't going after corruption. Shokin was blackmailing companies in Ukraine using the possibility of an investigation. He'd start one, shelve it, and if you don't pay him money, he takes your file off the shelf and throws it on somebody's desk. You pay him to keep your investigation from hitting anybody's desk. That's what Zlochevsky was doing. He was bribing Shokin to not go forward with the investigation. And Shokin had a gun to his head, effectively, during that time. So, I mean, it's dumb. But the two words that ended are call him.
So let's noodle with this for just a moment.
Yes, go noodle yourself.
It's clear that
yes.
Biden wanted this information about this phone call with Poroshenko away from his work email.
No, it is a work email. It's a work email, stupid. PCI.gov. It's under the Presidential Records Act because he's vice president. It's available under FOIA requests. That's why it's archived.
But this document wasn't sent to Joe Biden 1942 at gmail.com. It was sent.
What, hey, fuckhead, do you think Brad Pitt's email is bradpitt@bradpitt.com? Do you think Brad Pitt has Brad Pitt at Hotmail? I'm dead serious.
Sent to Robert L. Peters, and it was also sent to his son. Just sit and think for a few minutes about a non-sinister reason for that.
He's traveling with his son or leaving with his son, or wants his son to be aware that the guy that he's working for is probably going to flee the country, and his anti-corruption efforts that he's engaging in with his partners, including Devon Archer, are actually working.
A non-sinister reason that Joe Biden would need an email alias. Robert.
Okay. Please tell me Rob Schmitt's email is robschmitt@newsmax.com. I'm going to go with it's probably the Keister. That's what he calls himself around the office. Rob the Keister Schmitt. The Keister at newsmax.com probably is what he does. Or the Keister. I know he likes gangster shit.
Peters, a completely fake identity.
Like John Barron.
Why would that identity also be tethered to his son?
It's not tethered to his son. It's a CC'd email, fuckhead. Okay, wait. Let's go back to the email he actually showed. I'll move forward. They show it? Yeah, there it is. May 26, 2016. From Flynn John S. So John Flynn at ovp.eop.gov sent it to the Peters Robert L. account. And he CC'd Hunter Biden because of his Friday schedule card. This is a change in his Friday schedule card. 5/27/16 Friday schedule card document. So it's attached. That's the part that's kind of crucial, is that they're probably traveling that day, or he's going to see his family. He goes, they CC that stuff to the kids or Jill Biden probably as well at some points. But boss, 8:45 a.m. prep for a 9 a.m. phone call with President Poroshenko. Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event, and then Wilmington for UDEL commencement. Nate will have your draft remarks delivered later tonight or with your press clips in the morning. Okay, so he's going to Wilmington. He's going to Delaware. His son lives in Delaware. That's fucking that. This is about... Hold on. Let me check one thing. I want to check a detail. Please excuse me for a second. Thursday, the 26th of May, 2016. This is the Friday, the 27th. That would mean that 5/27/16. Yeah. You're gonna get. I'm gonna fucking get pissed. Look at the date. Look at the date. 5/27/16. This is his schedule for Friday, where he's traveling to Delaware and he's going to probably stay through the weekend, it seems. The Poroshenko part is important. By the way, again, Biden didn't send this email to him. It wasn't tethered to him. It was to him. 3 days after that email was sent is the 1-year anniversary of the death of Beau Biden, May 30th, 2015. That's why his schedule card for the weekend, and the emails around that weekend were more than likely sent. 5/27/16 is when it's sent. May 30th, 5/30/15 is when Beau Biden died. They were coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Beau's death. This is Rob Schmitt. Dude, your people or you need to do some fucking reading. Yeah, they are go to the gravesite folks. Yes, they are. They absolutely went on that Monday. I don't doubt, for the record, that this included the fact that he was going to give those remarks. They probably organized those remarks in, let's see. Well, hold on. We can look at that as well. Let me go to, all right, give me 1 second, because I'm just looking this up as we go. This is how fast this shit should be. Okay. 5. Um, 2011, 2016. This is, let me show you something. This is May 30th, 2016. This is 3 days after that email was sent. Which included Joe's schedule for that Friday, more than likely picking him up and being with him. His son's going to meet him in Delaware when he arrives. Beau Biden remembered in Memorial Day dedication of National Guard headquarters. Published May 30th, 2016, 7 p.m. This is Major Joseph R. Biden III, National Guard Reserve Center, Newcastle, Delaware. There's Hunter, there's Jill, there's Joe, there's Beau's kids and the other daughters, the family members. Delaware's National Guard headquarters in Newcastle is dedicated to the late Beau Biden on Monday. Music from the 287th Army Band and the national anthem sung by the National Guard's choir opened Monday's public ceremony in Newcastle. The Major Joseph R. Biden the 3rd National Guard Reserve Center recognizes the former state attorney general's service in the Guard for over a decade. Vice President Joe Biden and his family attended the dedication. Governor Joe Markle joined the vice president and others in recalling Beau Biden and his legacy. True heroism is remarkably sober, undramatic. It's not the urge to surpass others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever the cost, Markle said. And those words spoken by Arthur Ashe eloquently describe the passions of the man we celebrate today. Major Beau Biden was truly a beautiful son, Bavala said. He was undoubtedly the most morally upright person I have ever known, and he had no fear to express himself in terms of endearment. He would always tell me unabashedly in all errand encounters that he loved me and I loved him. Vice President Biden was the final speaker, expressing his gratitude for the outpouring of community support over the last 2 years. The thing he was most proud of was wearing uniform. So on behalf of the whole family, particularly Hallie, Natalie, and Hunter, I want to thank all of you for remembering our Beau today, particularly his brothers and sisters in uniform. Vice President Biden concluded his remarks by reading the last 2 lines of the poem Invictus he used to read to his kids. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. I'm getting misty and pissed. Can you get mist and pissed? Pisty? Am I getting pisty? Is that what we're going to call it? I think the important thing is that we all can join in where is it? There's a video that's playing. Yeah. In saying a resounding fuck you to Rob Schmitt. The reason they were coordinating this private email, like the arrangement of this and the schedule, the Friday card is the thing, is 8:45 a.m. Notice how the 8:45 a.m., 9 a.m. call with President Poroshenko, I don't know why knowing that he would call would matter, because like he wouldn't know that. So weird. Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event, and then Wilmington for Dell commencement. Nate will have your draft remarks delivered later tonight, your press clips in the morning. Like, fucking this dude. Let's go back to here.
A completely fake identity.
And again, this is normal to the White House, to the State Department, to like high-end public servants. If they get flooded emails or one gets overrun because somebody discovers it.
Why would that identity also be tethered to his son, who also...
Because that email pertained to the dedication of the National Guard headquarters to his dead fucking brother. What a fucking creep.
So got the same email.
Joe Biden did this for sinister reasons. Sinister. For the record, Joe is right-handed.
50-year-old man who's getting paid filthy, dirty money from all over the world.
Filthy, dirty, sickly money, dirty, nasty, smelly money. He's getting... What is the filthy dirty on this one? It's like the cocky duty moment from High Anxiety. Filthy dirty. Oh, dirty, filthy money. Oh, why can't I get some?
And the family was all getting paid.
No, they weren't.
As hard as you can to think of a reason that's not totally corrupt for this kind of behavior.
Because they were coordinating a memorial service where the entire family was getting together to remember the death of his oldest son on the 1-year anniversary of his fucking death.
Noodle with it all night and try to think of something. Tweet it at me. I wish you good luck.
Fuck you. Here it comes, buddy. All right, let's just do it. Well, hold on. There's more to show, and then I'll deal with Rob after the show.
I've been thinking about it all day.
No, you haven't.
I can't think of one.
That's because you're stupid.
And you begin to wonder where else Robert L. Peters' emails show up. And there were other aliases that Biden used as well. Robin Ware and J.R.B. Ware. How many honest people do you know that aren't faithful spies to a government who would need multiple aliases?
Everyone on Twitter.
Think about that.
I am. Rob, is your email rob.schmitt@Newsmax? If it is, do you have the exact same one on Hotmail? Do you have the same Earthlink one? Do you still have this? Is it always your full name with or without a period in between your first and last name and whatever the service is? Of course fucking not.
And remember, before Joe Biden used our money to get Victor Shokin fired to benefit Burisma, in
it didn't benefit Burisma. Otherwise, the dude wouldn't have had to flee the country.
2014, the United States was engaged in an effort to claw
the Biden files. Is that a shirt?
Back assets.
Oh, I see. It's blue folders with a piece of white paper in them. Interestingly enough, you know what's different than these Biden files one, besides the fact that they're made up and silly, is that there's a similar picture. I'm gonna have to find. Hold on one second. There's a similar picture. Let's see. I just want to compare the pictures of. Yeah, yeah, let's compare. I think this is fine. So let's go to the. There we go. What was this? Yeah, the Biden files. This is the picture of it right here. There's the Biden files. Excellent. Look at that. Little folders, pictures of himself. Apparently, in the Biden files, he has, this picture. Here's a picture of classified documents mixed in with Wall Street Journal ads and pictures and shit like that, strewn out over the floor. And literally, the person who took it said, "Oh no, about the classified documents." How about this one? Is this the Trump files picture then? You fucking dweeb. How about this one? What? Here you go. Here's some Trump files photos for you. What about that? Hey, anybody else want to point out the fucking copy machine right here? Anybody see that? See right there? The fuck? That's so nice. And the Saudis don't even have to carry shit upstairs. Hide stuff under your robe or in your briefcase. You can just make your copies right there. And then and split. What a fucking douchebag.
That were possessed by Burisma's owner, Mikola's
Burisma? Sorry.
clawback assets that were possessed by Burisma's owner, Mykola Zlochevsky. That's Hunter.
Okay, wait. Clawback what assets? And Burisma?
In 2014, the United States was engaged in an effort to claw back assets that were possessed by Burisma's owner, Mykola Zlochevsky. That's Hunter Biden's boss. The man who says he paid Joe and Hunter $5 million.
Why don't you have him on? He's right there. Ask him. Why? Oh, because it's awkward that he fled the country after the prosecutor that they replaced Shokin with actually went after him. He fled the country, bought citizenship in Cyprus. Interestingly enough, where Wilbur Ross was the head of the bank and where Gal Luft was hiding when Interpol caught up with him. I guess I gotta say, I guess some like mountain fortress in Switzerland or the Cayman Islands would be a little on the nose.
For protection from the government of Ukraine, where his company was operating.
For the record, by the way, the government of Ukraine at that time was under the control of Russian sock puppets. Just saying.
Held assets that belonged to the people of Ukraine. The United States was trying to get assets from this man back to the people of Ukraine. And Hunter Biden and his father were being paid to protect him from that process.
And they got those assets, Ukraine got those assets back, didn't they? I swear to God. I think that the Bidens only get upside down bribes. Whatever you try to, just this should be a warning to everybody. Whatever you try to bribe the Bidens to do, they will do the exact opposite. That's somebody needs a special decoder ring.
A State Department official described it like this. This actually happened during Trump's impeachment hearings. Take a listen.
In February of 2015, I raised my concern that Hunter Biden's status as a board member could create the perception of a conflict of interests.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like evidence. It could create the perception of a conflict of interest. He brought that up. I would have brought that up. And did you hear the word, the magic word, perception? Yes, that perception is the entire basis of your ridiculous fucking case.
A perception of a conflict of interest. Another government stooge who can see everything but the obvious. George Kent was a Democrat witness during Trump's first impeachment when Democrats tried to destroy his.
Yeah, he spoke frankly and said what he really said. It's interesting. You should recommend that to Republicans. They should try it.
Presidency for asking questions about Joe Biden's now very obvious dealings in Ukraine.
No, that's not at all how that went down. As a matter of fact, he was bringing up that it was bad politics, and that since they were dealing with corruption over there, it complicated matters that Hunter was on the board. Ultimately, it led the company to being less corrupt, but still, it was hinky. The interesting thing is the damage that he was worried about didn't happen then. It didn't even happen during Trump. They didn't go, oh, fuck, man, there was all this shenanigans going on in Ukraine while they didn't do any of that shit. They waited until he was having to run against Joe to even bring it up because why? Because they didn't give a fuck.
George Kent probably still believes there's no clear evidence that Biden had anything to do with his son's foreign business dealings.
Yes, he has. I don't care what he believes. He knows there is no clear evidence. So do you.
The same thing you hear from CNN and MSNBC all day long.
And me.
And the major networks don't even.
Although I will say, for the record, I go further than they do. Yeah. They hedge occasionally. No. I'm not. The MSNBC is pretty strong on it these days, especially midday. Like on Deadline White House and others, they'll, Rick Wilson and others will come on and kind of, they're not fucking around. But other people, CNN especially, will hedge the maybe. Well, I don't know, an appearance is an appearance, and politics is, the theater of politics can be as strong as the material bills that are passed. I mean, blah, blah, blah.
Cover the story, even though we now know that Biden was using multiple aliases while sharing information with his son.
The weekend before they had a memorial for his dead son.
About a country that was paying them millions of dollars.
No. When a call happens or that a call happens. And by the way, the prep for the call was not with Hunter Biden. The prep for the call was with the State Department and his team. All of whom have testified about this stuff, all of whose records are available. There was total agreement in the administration. So fucking lame.